Well, this video is going to be a RV project buffet. We're just got a whole bunch of little projects in there, from installing a hookup for the outside solar panels to that fan up there. And we put made somewhere to store the induction burner and installed a plug-in. Added some catches for the drawers, which you can't see. Some on here, which you can see. And a few other things. I just hope you enjoy. Maybe there's something in there you can use. Or at least find interesting. Thanks. See you. Enjoy it. On the Vanguard fifth wheel, besides the 400 watts of solar on the roof, I have this portable 200 watt solar panel. So we've got that hooked up. And coming through here. And I'll put this plug on the outside. And on the inside, it's 300 amp hours of capacity. We're at 37.8% because this trailer hasn't been plugged in the whole time it's in the shop. Anytime I needed power, I just turned on the inverter. And we're going the wrong way. And we're putting in 5.3 amps right now because it's pretty cloudy. I'm running 125. 12.5 volts. So what I did is that's the solar charge controller. Ran the wires out through there, through this mess, and the back of the plug is way down there. So yeah, I got to tidy it up a bit. This is where the range sits, so got lots of wiring going through there. Kind of looks like a rat's nest right now. Got some tidying up to do. I was having some problems with the cabinet doors, the lower cabinet doors coming open, hitting the slide. So I'll show you what was going on. So, and excuse the light, the light's needed for something I'm going to show you in a sec. The slide out, when it's in, would come to somewhere in here, or here. And what happened, we're traveling and the cabinet doors bounce open from something inside. And I was going to make something like that. And I tried various iterations, including something as long as this to go across all these. But what happened was, even with that in there and fiddling around with it 14, well, way too much time, these could still come open a bit. So Shelly found these cabinet catches. And they were cheap. And here's one installed. And you got to give them a bit of a tug, and that's what I was worried about, and that's why I was trying to do the stick thing like up here, was because these are very easy to open and close, and I didn't want to have something so strong you got to put a foot against the cabinets to pull the door open. But these are seem to be just the right amount of hold the door shut and easy enough to open. So to install them, basically, I take a assembled, get this light here, there we go, assembled catch, line it up where I want it, screw the base in place, and then with this part that goes on the door, that part, still in place, I was marking the door. Now you can see I got 14 marks here. So what I was doing was I still had this part in the catch, and it's trying to line it up in here, and that's how I ended up with these first 2 marks. And then I finally got smart, and I just took a straight edge from the top of the catch that was going on the cabinet door, put a line across here, and then I could just line her up and put this in here. And then, of course, looking down here was real easy to see. So there's that mark. And then I just took a right angle straight edge and put a line down here. So first try. Another thing we had to deal with is this is a rear kitchen trailer. And these drawers, as you can see, slide forward, put on the brakes. Anything that ain't weight in it is going to come undone, which we ran into with this cutlery drawer. So, because you've got cutlery, it gets heavy. So what I've done, because this is the one with just the full extension drawer slides, they got a bit of a catch on them, but I don't know if you can tell because you're not pulling on it, but that opens pretty easily. This one's got a catch on it. Now it's secured, and there was just enough room there. There wasn't enough room there. That's how tight the other side was. So I put it there. There. Yeah, as you're doing things, you think about, your mind goes different places. But the other thing I like about putting this here as opposed to here is this is the center of the drawer, and there's less tilt this way than if it was here. Then you'd have the resistance would be here, so your drawer would be wanting to do this. And I think it's just going to be easier to open and easier on the drawer too. So in our little mini series here of ongoing improvements in the Vanguard, we've got the full extension drawer guide. We've got the storage for the induction burner so it doesn't slide around. Boy, I love that drawer. I can't believe how I used to fight with it. Anyways, it sits on top of the stove top. You want to cook with electricity, not with gas. Now the problem is where do I plug it in? There is no plug-ins on this trailer, except for over there, which is where our coffee maker was, and then get the induction burner here, and next thing you know, you got no counter space. So that's why we wanted to cook here. So the plug-in is right there, and one problem: I'm not plugged in. So turn their inverter on, and it takes a couple secs for the power to come on. There we go. There's life. So now you can cook with your induction burner. Parked in the middle of nowhere. Awesome. Now next I'm going to show you how we got here. I have had this range out of this trailer so many times. There's a million reasons. First time is when I was running the solar, because the line for the solar panels comes down at the back of the fridge and through here, and yeah, let's remember. If you remember, there's my solar charger, there's my inverter, there's way back there with no light is my lithium batteries. So yeah, here's the lines on the solar panel. And then, as I showed you in the just recent video, way down there is the plug for my outside solar. So that wire comes up here, goes there, and joins up with the other wires at the MPPT solar charge controller. So anyways, where did I get the power from this? So in the installation of the solar and the inverter and so forth, one of the problems was you turn on the inverter, you got 110 volt power coming into your breaker panel in here, and it powers up your fridge on 110 volt. And RV fridges draw a ridiculous amount of power on a 110 volt because they run off of a heating element. That's an absorption fridge that'll also run on propane. There's now in some newer trailers some straight 12 volters, but that's not what we have here. So I had that problem. So what I did is I run a completely separate line on the outside of the trailer right here. The 110 volt power comes into the trailer. And then right here, I've got
that power comes into this breaker box, and here it splits. Some of it goes to the fridge, and it also goes to the inverter. That way, when you turn the inverter on, it's not sending power out that line. It sends the power out a separate line and powers things like the microwave and the induction, the plug-ins. And like I said, just showed you the induction burner. So I had this 110 volt line left over from the fridge. So this water heater is straight propane. I'm going, if I ever replace that, I'm going to put in a 110 propane water heater. So I had the power line in here. I had it capped off. And then in the breaker box, I disconnected those wires from the breaker. So there was no way power was going to get to this line. So I reconnected the power at the breaker box, and then I ran, you can even kind of see it says old fridge there. Goes into this box, and this comes out here and goes to the pop-up receptacle. Started tidying things up in here from factory. This was a bloody mess. I mean, last time I even taped this stuff up because everything was just loose and separate. It was just horrible. And of course, the manufacturer gives you a knife rack right down there. Knife rack, wires. That's not a good idea. So what I'm going to do before I put this all together is I'm going to put some of this wire loom on here. Is it going to protect it completely from a knife? No, but it's one more layer of preventing an accident from happening. And we just got to remember that long knives go here, short knives can go here. Maybe this one, that'll be a vent. So that's where we're at. I'll put this wire loom on, and we will see where we're at. Do you like my new safety toe work boots? Okay, there I got the wire loom on there, so it looks a little better and a little tidier. One other thing I forgot to mention, all this finely finished silicone in here. Why is that there? Well, that's your fridge cabinet right there. See, fridge. And your fridge cabinet has to be sealed because there's a fire in there, and you can get some carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, one of the two, carbon monoxide, I think it is. And so anything coming through the fridge cabinet, which this propane line is, actually it's going to the fridge cabinet, and because everything's coming up there for the furnace, the water heater, the stove, and the fridge. And then where I ran the, I just retouched that up because moving it around, it got a crack in it. So I got silicone on my fingers. Anyways, so those are the solar lines. So I've got that all done. Next, we're going to put the stove back in place.
I started putting this tinkering video together and, well, putting in all the little clips for the various things I did. And now that I've got it all together, it's getting to be a long video. I'm only halfway through. So I'm going to cut this short, call it part 1, and watch for part 2. We're going to be adjusting the slide. We're going to be installing the inside fan. Something I discovered when I was packing my bearings, which I've never seen before. It was kind of interesting. And tables, my freestanding table, tie down for it. And there might be some other things in there. I can't remember, but see you soon. And thanks for watching this one.